This video is the last video in our wooden block Halloween character series. I'm going to combine the cat and the mummy into one video because you've already seen so much of this information. Make sure you stay until the end because I threw in a bonus character at the last minute. We used leftover 2x4s and a jigsaw to get the ears of the cat. We painted the cat in black velvet and then stenciled the eyes on with vintage linen and the stencil that I created for this series. You can get the stencil and the paint on my website at purplemonkeymanor.com. This scrap piece of burlap fabric was left over from the video I did on the coffee bag room screen. I'll link that in the description below. I pulled out a handful of strings from the burlap and then folded them in half and cut the loop, and then folded it in half and cut the loop again. I took another piece of string and wrapped it around the center of the group. I wrapped it 5 or 6 times and then tied it off with a knot. I trimmed the leftovers of the knot because they didn't lay in the same direction as the whiskers did on either side of the knot. Does everybody's glue gun look as bad as mine does? I used my handy dandy glue gun to glue each set of whiskers onto each cat's face. As with the other projects in this series, we used a landscape timber cut into varying sizes. We painted the edges black and then painted the white and then distressed it a little bit so that you could see the black coming through. We made the stencil faces, and that's where the mummy begins. I did kind of cut some corners on the one that I'm showing you in the demo. I bought rolled gauze at Walmart, but looking at Amazon, I found some that was much more cost effective, so I'll link that below in the description of this video. I wrapped the mummy starting at the top. I wish I had painted it. This would have been less important if I had. But I started at the top and then went at an angle across the corners to help me turn the corner of wrapping the mummy on top as well as around the sides. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you'll know when we publish our next video. Also, hitting the like button makes it so that more people will see it. Thanks. So now for that bonus character. I have a lot of ghosts left over. They've sold very well in my booth, but here's what I'm gonna do with the ones that didn't sell. First, I took 3 strings of red yarn. I tied them together at the top and laid my ghost down on top of them and braided the strings together. If you don't know how to braid, it's very easy. You take the string on the right and you cross it over the middle. And then you take the string on the left and cross over the middle. And then the right and cross over the middle. And then the left, cross over in the middle. I tied off the braided ribbon at each end, of course, and then I tied a knot and left 3 little strings hanging off to make a fringe at each end. I took my DIY paint in Fire Starter, which is a bright orange, and I painted over my ghost mouth. I made a triangle and then stopped and looked at it, and it looked like a penguin, which is not what I was going for. So I went back and I kind of made waves in the line on the top side and on the bottom side because it's supposed to be a carrot. Now, I painted over the eyes, I made them square and then did square mouths like lumps of coal, and then tied the scarf around him, and ta-da, snowman.